Just finished doing an install. Two 15-inch AG Wolframs, 1250 watts each, RMS. Got a battery, but cool connectors for the top. Got a really good deal on these, and they actually work really well. Got an extra fuse for underneath as well. Ground is done underneath the other location where the spare tire is. Did all the wiring. Some of it screwed down, etc. 3 split. Got 150 amp fuse here, 80 amp here, and a 60 amp here. Sorry, this is also a 100 or a 150. Sorry, no, this one's a small guy. Yeah, he's only 60 or so amp. 80, 60, 150. Put a relay in, so the remote wire coming in, which is this baby blue guy, is the remote in to a 12 volt constant conversion. So we're using 12 volts instead to turn the amps on. That way there's no feedback to the lighter that we used for the 12 volt. I use the existing one because he already did a decent job. It was already running. But anyways, we got a 4-channel amplifier which is pushing the front doors and dash in 2 ohm stereo. We have a Kenwood that's pushing the rear doors now. We eliminated the Bose amplifier that was in here. It's still in there, but we just unplugged everything. It's no longer. It's still there. You can still see it right here, but we just unplugged everything. We don't have it. All the wires are all zip tied up, put in like this. We use sky high power, excess cable for the ground. We have a tar amp 3K pushing the subs. Again, that's pushing the doors. That one's pushing the rear speakers. We then cut the door panels and put Pioneer DJ Tech Pros, the 6 3/4, plus the Pro billet speed tweeters or super tweeters, whatever they want to call them. We removed the factory tweeters that were inside there as well. Those are no longer there. We then did a line driver. I put his clip light down here for him, which it doesn't even come on because it's just so much power for those subs. You just never have to turn it up that much. And then only difficult thing I've been finding so far, and I have to do a process of elimination. I don't know if it's this unit, something went wrong with it, or if it's just the connectors, but this thing is not it's not playing the right channel super smooth. And when I dial in these the mid bass and the bass, then it starts to, so it's really finicky here. So I don't know. I'm going to tell the client, because I said everything, don't touch those things, only touch the power and thing. You shouldn't have to do that, I know, but technically that's all they should have to do. Turn your bass knob down and turn your volume down. Those are the only 2 things that you ever need to touch after a car audio place sets everything up anyways. So that way it's not changing or ruining the sound that's already put to them because they're at their limit. Also, it has dual input. One of the inputs, I did a line inverter from the back of these. I found what wires deliver the signal to the amplifier. I put that in to go from the RCA into this, so he can still listen to the radio while going back and forth to work, so he can pay attention to traffic or any sports news. It's stuff like that, etc. So that turned out really good. really clean. Oh, and I also mounted, I bolted that through, I pulled that all off, and I put 2 bolts through it so he can mount his thing. He's just got to pull all this off. I was not doing that. It's all tangled in there, so I'll let him cut that stuff off so he can put his tablet on top. Also did a big 3. We did a new alternator. I don't know if you'd be able to see it down there. You can't really see it. But anyways, it's a brand new alternator, brand new belt that I put inside it with the big 3 kit. We did 2 grounds to the 3 grounds to the battery technically. Well, 2 grounds to the battery, 1 from the body to the transmission case. The wire that was already there, we added it, and we left the wires that were already on there. So we upgraded quite a bit. Did a waterproof fuse under the hood. We put a 500 watt or 500 amp one underneath here. The client had a bolt hooked up to this guy. People need to watch out when you're doing that. When you do these kits and they have these, always use this bolt, never use these bolts that are coming off. These are fused and these are meant for the car. This is not for the car. So when you pull it back, there's no protection on it. That's what you want to use. When you use these and you're zapping and you're using an amplifier that's pulling that much current, you will snap current pass through here and you'll give the computer and the factory car stuff problems. So do not do that. But anyways, and then we have the wire all ran up through there. Have it running through the garment that you can see back there. It's up nice and high so no water will get in. Yeah, turned out pretty darn good. We did heat shrink on all of the different stuff. Again, turned out pretty good. It's pretty loud. It's got a lot of potential to it. Just slowly playing by ear right now. Don't want to really piss my neighbors off too much. Yeah, it's pretty dialed in. The only thing I don't like is that one wire. I have a cheap one, that's why I like the Bluetooth myself, because then there's no connections, no problems except for that. So maybe that's something he can look forward to getting. But anyways, to go from the headphone jack into that input, or is it that the line driver itself, which is only $61. So might have to order a new one. That way it can help them perfect everything and make it really clean. Yeah, so that's what I did for the last 4 or 5 days. And now I'm going to get to building another box for an XTR Pro and doing an epoxy job on it. And then I have a few other boxes I'm behind in schedule with some stuff. So I will be taking this month to do all my catching up. Not taking any jobs on at this moment, except for the ones that I've already set up in place.